Madison Square Garden Productions presents a 10-round heavyweight bout between George Foreman of Hayward, California, and Luis Perez of Sao Paulo, Brazil. Good evening, everyone. I'm Don Dunphy, your ringside commentator at Madison Square Garden. Undefeated in 31 professional fights, former Olympic champion George Foreman hopes to take another step tonight in his march to a title shot with champion Joe Frazier. His opponent, rugged Luis Perez, has other ideas. Rather than being a stepping stone for George, Perez hopes to put a chalk under his bandwagon. It should be an exciting evening. We'll have more about these fighters when we return to Madison Square Garden right after this message. Here's big George Foreman, whom many regard as the future heavyweight champion of the world. George is 6'4" and weighs 215 pounds. He was born in Marshall, Texas 23 years ago, was raised in Houston, and now lives in Hayward, California. A 1968 Olympic champion, has won 31 professional bouts, all of them scoring 28 KOs. His biggest victory was an awesome 2-round blasting of George Chuvalo. He's got all the equipment. Foreman is rated just behind champion Joe Frazier and ex-champion Muhammad Ali in the rankings. And now Luis Perez, the rugged South American. Luis was born in Minas Gerais, Brazil, 32 years ago. He's 6'2", and at the New York Commission weigh-in this morning came in at 214 3/4, a quarter-pound lighter than George Foreman. Perez is a good belter with either hand, a fine body puncher, and a fair boxer. His drawback is that he's slow. He's won 18 of his 26 bouts with 7 losses and a draw. He's KO'd 11 and was stopped 4 times, always on cuts. He's never been floored, and he's not been cut lately. In his last 10 fights, Perez has scored 8 knockouts, had a draw, and suffered a decision loss to Ernie Terrell. Perez is well-conditioned, conscientious, and tough.
Good evening, ladies
and now, Johnny Addy.
I would like to call up the 2-time lightweight champion of the world, Carlos Ortiz. Come on up. Carlos Ortiz. Ladies and gentlemen, here are the ring officials assigned by the New York State Athletic Commission. The judges, Tony Castellano and Bill Recht. The timekeeper, Fred Abatello. Counting for the knockdowns, Tony Perez. Referee for the main event, Johnny Lo Bianco. 10 rounds. Introducing from Brazil. He's wearing blue trunks. He weighs 214 3/4 pounds. Luis Perez.
Perez gets a
His
nice
opponent
hand.
from Hayward, California. He's wearing red trunks. He weighs 215. Undefeated George Foreman. Main event,
big
10
hand
rounds.
for George, too.
Another bout to follow.
Johnny Lo Bianco's instructions. They'll be wasted
Harry,
on Perez. He speaks no
Foreman,
English.
you both have boxed in New York before. You're well acquainted with the rules. I'll review them for you. 3 knockdowns in any one round automatically ends the bout. If you score a knockdown, go to a neutral corner and stay there. You must take an 8 count. If you leave the neutral corner, the count will stop. If you are in a down position and the bell rings, the count will continue with the exception of the last round. I want a clean fight. When you're in
Neither
close and you're in
Perez
a
nor his
clinch, I'll tell you to
manager,
break.
Captain
Step
Nelson,
back.
speak English.
Protect yourself at all
Chicky
times.
Ferrara in the
Shake
corner
hands
with
now. Good
them
luck to both of you.
speaks English, but doesn't speak Spanish. They're wearing 8-ounce gloves, and the scoring is on a rounds basis with a supplementary point system if the rounds come out even on an official's card, and Johnny Lo Bianco gave you the rest of the rules. It's a 10-round bout, at least that's what it's scheduled for. And Foreman wastes no time. Foreman can jab, can hit with either hand. Perez, regarded as a good body belter, with only a fair jab and a fair boxer. From the look on Foreman's face, I'd say he's going to try to get this over quickly. Pires' hope is to weather the early storm. Incidentally, of the three men who have gone the limit with Foreman, two of them have been South Americans, Peralta and Davila. And Davila was also beaten by Pires. Pires looks a little gun-shy in there. So he's got Madison Square Gardenitis, but he's fought in this ring before. Those are solid jabs that Foreman is putting in there, and they are scoring. He's trying to bring down that guard. Oh, that left hook had power, and the jab has power. Foreman looks like a man completely in control of himself and of the situation. A minute to go in round one. And Luis is bleeding from the nostrils. Testimony to Foreman's jab. Foreman almost swung himself out of the amphitheater. And he's got Pires in trouble, real trouble. Pires on the verge of being knocked out. We'll hope to get an interview with Foreman should he end this quickly. 20 seconds to go in the round. Pires trying to gamely fight back, but he's outgunned at the moment. 10 seconds to go in round one. He may make the round. Two at Madison Square Garden. George Foreman in the red trunks and Pires in the blue trunks. You're looking in color, and Foreman's are just, well, a little bit brighter, I think, if you're looking in black and white. Now Pires is starting to bob and weave and keep the gloves up to get away from that battering. And he took some battering in round one. Pires brings the crowd up with his efforts. Did get in a pretty good left hook. That uppercut hurt, and the left hook was a dazzler. But Pires' game he's only 2 inches shorter than Foreman, but he looks a lot smaller. See if they call out a knockdown.
3, 4, 5.
No knockdown. No knockdown. There would be a mandatory 8 count if were a knockdown. Johnny Lobianco said no. Foreman is not landing those knockout punches solidly there to the side of the head. Pretty good punches by Pires. A minute to go in round two. Pires may not be hurting Foreman, but he certainly is bothering him. Even the jab of Foreman is not as sharp as it was. Perez obviously is tired from the first round. They are winging them here at Madison Square Garden. 10 seconds to go in round 2. A beautiful body punch by Perez. And they battled after the bell. Round 3 at Madison Square Garden, and Foreman ran into one. Foreman's apparently been told to get it over with. To use the old cliche, it's a Pier Sixer. Perez is hurt again. You wonder what's keeping him up. Oh, that was right in there. Perez almost helpless on the ropes, but his courage is still there. His arms are heavy. No knockdowns yet, and Perez comes back. Perez apparently too tired to get his hands up. Every so often, Perez bombs one back. It may not land, but it looks good. A minute to go in round 3. Perez bleeding from the mouth and the nose. Foreman relentless in the attack. Cannot seem to get that clean shot in there. About 30 seconds to go in the round. It's been one-sided, but Perez tries to make a fight of it. Ten seconds to go in round 3. Round 4 at Madison Square Garden, and Perez doesn't get far out of his corner when Foreman's on top of him. Some of the crowd has been getting on Foreman for not being able to finish Perez. But Perez is a tough, rough customer who's never been floored. Now Foreman's coming in as though it were a gymnasium workout. He's leaving himself wide open, Foreman is. Perez is dreadfully tired. Perez bleeding from the mouth and the face. Every so often, Perez winds up and throws. Foreman is not putting the power in the punches now. He's looking for a spot. And Perez's face is becoming a crimson mask. A minute to go in round 4. You know, you have to wonder, maybe Foreman is getting arm weary. He isn't snapping them in there as he did in the first 2 rounds. Oh, that was a snap one. Ten seconds to go in this round. There's game Luis Perez coming back to his corner. We started to tell you who was in the corner before. His manager, Abram Katzenelson, with his back to us. Facing us is Chicky Ferrara. Here's Dr. Edward Campbell of the New York Commission. And I don't know if he speaks Brazilian, but he's trying to talk to Luis, and now he's talking to the referee, giving him some kind of instructions. Chicky Ferrara's in the corner with Perez, and so is Anton Sanchez Gauvin. It has been a one-sided fight, and let's see, I think they are going to stop it. Are they? No? Johnny, are you stopping it? The referee has stopped the fight. Johnny Lobianco has stopped the fight, and the winner by a technical knockout is George Foreman, who goes over to commiserate with Luis Perez. Here's Johnny Addy.
Permitted to come out for round 5. The winner at the end of the 4th round by a TKO, George Foreman.
There we have it. The fight was stopped by the referee, not allowing Luis Perez to come out for the 5th round, and the winner is George Foreman. Dick, come on over here with George, huh? Here's big George Foreman, whom, want to get on the other side, Dick? A lot of folks think will be the next heavyweight champion of the world after Joe Frazier, possibly. George, I want to congratulate you first, and yet I've got to be honest, a lot of the crowd seemed to be disappointed that you couldn't stop Perez after your big assault on him in the first round. Just a minute, Dick, huh?
Well, I was anticipating on going a lot more rounds myself.
Were you?
Yeah, but he took a bad, vicious beating from his head, you know. There's a cut bigger than he is in my head. And, you know, I'm a little big to keep digging in round after round into a man's head when it's open.
Were you afraid at any time in the 3rd and 4th rounds that you might hurt him?
Well, you know, after I dug that hole in his eye, I really was. But I can't stop beating a guy.
No.
When he started laying up against the rope, that means he was helpless then. But I had to keep continuing to do something. When the guy leans up on the rope, he's through.
Did he hit you solidly at any time?
Not really, hit me on my shoulder, you know.
Uh-huh.
I'm really elusive with my shoulder.
Well, now, do you think you're ready for Joe Frazier?
Well, I was ready for Perez tonight, and I think I've just made a great accomplishment. Now I'll go back into the gym and practice more, and with good luck and grace from the Lord, I'll be ready for everybody eventually.
Thank you very much, George, and good luck to you. Now I'm going to talk to Dick, and he's awful easy to talk to, you know.
Look out there.
Thank you, George. Sandy, good luck.
Say hello to all my LA buddy, Dart and all.
Oh, good.
Yeah, Don.
Dick, well, give us your version of this fight, huh?
Well, just about like what it all amounts to is that the guy took a bad beating, and everybody that figures that he didn't Should have been there, and then it was, I mean, what the hell, if he'd had any chance, or if he'd have been punching in it, or if he'd have been defending himself in it, or if he'd have been landing in it, or if he'd had won one round. So, I mean, what the hell, is only so much a man can take, and all, so after he takes it, and he took a beating, and a pretty bad beating. He's all, you know, you hate these things. I hate it. And for what little money the guy making, it isn't worth it, and you can ruin a man. And George is a big 220-pound man, and he hits and he hurts. And there's no doubt in my mind about him not going to knock him out. If the referee don't come to his rescue, he's got knocked out. Don't worry about it, because he was flopping and floundering all over the ring.
Now Dick, one more question. Where do you think you stand in the heavyweight picture?
Right where we always was, I guess, just trying to be a contender, trying to work our way for a title shot. We haven't changed. We've improved on our record. We've never lost.
No, that's right.
Nobody else in the ratings as at this particular time has the record that we have, and so all we're doing is trying to work towards the title shot.
Well, I know you want to fight Joe Frazier, but would
we
you
don't
fight
care
Muhammad
who.
Ali?
We don't care who has it. If Muhammad Ali has the title, we'll fight Muhammad. We want to fight the champion. Muhammad Ali, Patterson, Quarry. No, Joe Frazier, Sonny Liston, nobody fought a former champion to get a chance.